Okay, well, without further ado, welcome back to session 4. I'll crack on as quickly as possible because previously this session has run a little bit over the hour, so we'll try and get it within the hour today. Welcome back if you've been to our previous sessions today. I'm guessing a lot of you have. Anybody who's been here for all 4, congratulations, we're nearly at the end now. I feel like we should be having some kind of survivor's breakfast at the end of it all. Anybody who is just joining us for this session, I'll just give you a few brief details and then we'll make a start. My name's Alistair Rain and I'll be handing over to my colleagues Stuart Parkin and Russell Moss for the on-screen demonstrations, and we all work for the learning technology team, part of the quality team here at the college. Just a bit of housekeeping. We'd be grateful if you could keep your video and microphones turned off unless they're actually in use. Feel free to ask questions in the chat, which Russell and myself will do our best to answer. And there will be some chances to ask questions. If you could use the raise hand icon that's been indicated on the screen, that would be really useful. Okay, so yeah, thanks, Stu. If we go straight on to slide 2 and I'll look through those. So again, they're up there for you to read. All about video this time, prepared lesson content, and also how to embed and share with students. Looking at some assessment activities along with video by putting questions in there, and different types of delivery, synchronous and asynchronous. So I think we're ready to kick off there, Stu, thanks.
Okay, thanks very much, Alistair. Yeah, we're nearly there, everybody, on the downhill now, hopefully. We're going to look in this session at a different app for most of it. It's an app called Microsoft Stream, which sits in the Office 365 suite of apps. The reason that we need to go into Stream and the reason we've been asked to do this session is when we're recording our lessons, our sessions that we've got running in Teams, we want to look at what happens with that video, where it goes, how we can control who can see it and how we can share with others. If I just go on to that slide that we've looked at before in the previous sessions, we've got Stream sitting just in the bottom right there of those apps within Office 365. If you don't see it when you log into office.com, into that portal, you can click on all apps and go to it there. It is a completely web-based app. When you're accessing it on the computer, you don't download a program like you can do with Word and Teams and things. It is a website that you log into. There is, however, a phone and tablet, a mobile app that you can download for Stream that Russell will go over a little bit later on, again, with a real look at how we can manage the content and the permissions and upload content directly from a mobile device. I'm going to come at this from the angle then of we've recorded a session in Teams and we want to know where that's gone and what we can do with it. So I'm just going to come out and share my desktop with you. I've got a conversation here from our session earlier on, and when I recorded the session and I've gone into my chat, here's the chat for it. It's an introduction session here, and this is how a recording looks in the conversation. So you'll get the thumbnail, the time, the length of the video, who recorded it, and then importantly you'll have these 3 dots there. Now students can access the file in the chat section of the meeting themselves, so it'll be recorded in the conversation that's attached to that session, so they could come and just view it from here. If you click on the video from here, it opens in its own window and we can watch the recording. As the owner of the video, I want to just click on that and open it up in Microsoft Stream. You see it opens a new website, and we can access the video. We get an extra Russell speaking there. You see as well, for this video, I've already gone in and added the subtitles here, and I'll show you how to do that with another file that we've got on here. But you can go in and you can add subtitles into the video, which can be useful for your learners and yourself looking back. I'm just going to, now we're in Stream, give you a bit of an overview of the platform before we go into looking what we do with the video. In the top left hand corner, again, because it's the web version of this, it's the web app, we can click on that top left corner, and we've got those dots, and that gives us links out to all other Office 365 apps and our recent documents as well. We've got a shortcut there to use other parts of the Office 365 suite of applications. Stream, the name there, and Home do the same thing. They just take us back to this main page. Within here, I don't use this page much because I'm generally in here to manage permissions and things, but this is an overview of what's in Stream for you. We've got highlights of any new videos that are getting a lot of watchers. They're trending within Stream, so we can scroll through here and look at new content if we want to. There's also a really useful part of this top banner with links to certain elements of what you can do on Stream. Also very useful on this first page, if I scroll down, is learn how to use Microsoft Stream, and there's guides and videos and pages on helping you to learn how to use here. We're not going to go into those today, but if you're going into Stream after the session and you want some extra how-to guides, there's plenty of stuff in there to help you along the way. Further down the page, there's links to other videos that I've got access to. I can create a watch list. I think I mentioned this in session 1 earlier on. If I note there's certain videos that I want to come back to, I can do that and add them to my watch list, and that's where I would find that. And then there's other content that's there within Stream, but not important to us at the moment, so I won't go into that. The next tab along at the top is Discover. And within here, zoom in slightly, we've got videos, channels, people, and groups. Channels and groups I'm going to come into in more detail in a while, so I'll just ignore that a little bit at the moment, but I can search for videos that I've got access to. So there's two levels of permissions, if you like. Within Stream, you can have content that is company-wide, so anybody with a LTE account can access that content, and this that I can see in the Discover bit is either content that's been allowed for everybody or content that I have access to because the permissions that have been set allow me to. So they may be part of a meeting that I was involved in. There may be something that a video that somebody else has shared with me deliberately, and I'll have access through that Discover tab. If I'm looking for a certain person's videos, I saw there was some there from Julie Davis. If I searched for Julie, I can find her, and I can see all these assistive technology videos that she's been uploading and working on. She's made those available to everybody, so you can find them that way. I will move on to my content. I say we'll come back to the channels and group side. I just want to go and find that video that we've uploaded, and because that comes into my content. We'll find it both in videos under my content and also under the meetings tab. So you can see, here's what we've been doing today. I recorded them, so they've come into my content and my videos. I can also find them under meetings under there. In the videos tab, that includes anything I've actually uploaded, video files here, some content from the Blended Learning Consortium that I've uploaded. So that appears in my videos, but it's not a meeting recording. So everything there that I've done is together in a big list. I can search through all my content because it's an ever-growing list. I can sort by different criteria, and I can also check if I've got any things like drafts that are ready to be published and things like that as well. I can have a look through my content using those filters. Sorry, did not mean to click on that. If I go into meetings, that just shows me everything that's been recorded from Teams Teams session. So any meetings I've set up with classes, any one-to-ones, anything like that from my calendar within Teams will filter through into this section of Stream. So if I come into meetings, I want to look at my session 3 one. So this is my video that we've just recorded from 1 o'clock till 2. And you can see that I've got a thumbnail of the video, I've got my title and some details about it. I've also got the length of the video overlaying the thumbnail. Really importantly, over here on the right hand side, we've got visible to private. So the default setting for a meeting recorded in Teams is that I've just got a message saying I can't see your screen, just the thumbnails. Is that everybody getting the same thing?
I'm seeing okay.
I've got the screen.
You got everything okay?
I can't see the screen.
I've got the screen.
What I'll do is I'll come out from sharing and I'll reshare just to see if that sorts that for you. Now I'm in, I'll just share my browser window and see if that helps. Okay, hopefully that will have sorted for anyone who had a problem there. Next to my video, I've got this yellow icon, and that means it's private. So it says visible to private, which is a bit of a strange sentence. But if you look in that compared to the one below, it's visible to organization. So I've given that company-wide access on that video. So anybody who logs into Stream will be able to view that video. Or if I send them the link over an email, things like that, they would be able to watch it when they logged in. We do have, I've had a few queries from people where they've been sent a link to a video or they've shared something with a colleague and they've logged on, it says you don't have permission to do it. That's because of these permissions. It must still be on private, which is okay. But if it is on private, you need to give that individual rights to watch it. So you have got quite a lot of control over who can see what. Currently, everything on here is only visible to people within the organization as well. I don't think that will change. I think IT want to keep that level of security that videos need to stay within the system. So they would need a LTE login to be able to access this platform to use it. If I click into this video, I get this view, and it's similar to if you've used YouTube, which I mean, imagine most people have, but any other video platform. You've got your video viewer in the top left-hand corner, and then other information, links to other videos is there on the page as well. On the actual video player, you've got your controls for playing and pausing. You've got time elapsed and your sound controls. You can seek through the timeline to go to certain sections. In the bottom right-hand corner, if there's other qualities available of this, if it's showing really pixelated, you might want to upscale it to a higher resolution. Similarly, if you're struggling and it's with bandwidth on your internet, if it keeps stopping, you could lower the quality of the video to help that to play successfully. So you can alter quality there. You can also change the playback speed if you want to speed up my mumbly voice again. We can speed that up if you want, or you can slow me down. However, Just going to close the settings one. The next one is theatre mode. If I click on that, you'll see my video's gone to the full width of the screen. It's not gone completely full screen. I have the other controls on my page available to me. I've got the information under the video I can scroll down to, but it just gives me the full width of my available screen. I'll close that. You've got a full screen toggle as well, so we can go to full screen to watch. And there you can see it's captured it in a really good resolution to be able to rewatch the video. Underneath the video, you've got the details for it. We've got a title. Again, there's publish dates, who by, the level of privacy at the moment, number of watchers and likes. And we can share the video. Again, the person you're sharing it with needs permission to watch it. So it gives you that prompt there. It will be only viewable by authorized users. So again, you need to either make it available company-wide or give the person access. But you can share a direct link to that video. I can add it to my watch list to come back to later. I can like the video. If I'm an owner of the video, if I've recorded it or if I'm the one who's uploaded it, I've got access to these options, and I can change, I can trim the length of the video, I can take off the beginning and end and tidy it up before I share it, which I've done with the recordings today. So you don't get the 20 minutes of silence before the session actually starts. You can download the video file to use offline there as well. There's also the availability of putting comments underneath your video. I've left those on at the moment. If I go into the three dots here again, though, and go to update video details, I can come and change a lot of these settings that I've just looked at. I'll go through these settings, then I will come for any questions. So if anybody's got anything they're wanting to ask, please either pop it in the chat now and then, or get ready to pop your hands up. We'll come to a bit of a Q&A part, but I'll just go through changing these settings. The middle one is the really important one. Those will keep stressing the permissions. And as I say, you've got at the moment, everybody in the company is not able to watch this video. Sorry, it's unticked. If I want everybody in the company to be able to view it, I just tick that box, and that will make this available. It will change the icon on the security side to green, and it means that that is available. It will show in that Discover tab. Anybody's got the link to this video, they'll as long as they can log in using college accounts, then they'll be able to view my video. If I wanted to share with individuals, though, if I hadn't made it company-wide, I could add certain people to this video to give them viewing rights. I want to share this, for instance, if I wanted to share it with my manager, if I search for Julie, and then I can just select Julie and she will appear at the bottom of this huge list of people who are in the meeting. You'll see there, you should spot your own names if you're in the session before this and you are there as a authorized viewer because you were in the meeting. If I wanted to revoke access to anybody, though, I could just cross out their name. Similarly, if I wanted to give higher rights to somebody on this video, if I wanted them to be able to come in and edit, to be able to delete the video, trim it, etc., I could give Russell and Alistair those rights here. So that is the basics of the permissions. If I wanted, though, to push it out to one of my Teams areas, so if I wanted to give the whole of my class access to a video, I can do that by sharing with my groups. Now, groups is an area on Stream which is equal to the teams on Teams. So if you set up a team area on Teams, it automatically creates a group on Stream. So that test class that I created earlier, I search my groups, I can find it there and add access. So anybody who was in that team huge list again, will now have access, and that's a display option on that second row of things. So that will give access to anybody within that team to be able to see that video. I can also share this to different channels that I set up as well, and I'll come back to channels shortly, but that's where I would do that as well. On the left hand side of these video details, I can change the title, I can add descriptions. I might want to add hashtag, so if somebody clicks on that hashtag CPD, it'll bring up all the videos that have been tagged with that. Adding a description helps with the search function. So you see in the top toolbar there's a search. If you add information within there, that will help to search for things. See, I've lost all my permissions there because I clicked out of it. I'll just give the company-wide access back to this video. If I so I'll re-add my CPD, and I also want to add in some time stamps into the video. So in the description itself, you may have seen this used in things like YouTube again. If I do 0 minutes and 10 seconds, I could add in some navigation around, so I can put as many of those in and talk about the different sections of the training and where we've gone on to different subjects, and people can navigate around using those timestamps. I'm going to create a captions file now. You see on the right hand side here under captions, that's grayed out at the moment to auto generate a caption file. What I want to do though, if I set the video language as English, it also works for Spanish, but no other languages yet. Set it as English, that becomes available. And then when I apply the changes, it will start generating a caption file for this video. I can, if I've got a subtitle file, if I've bought in a video, for instance, that I want to upload to here and they supply subtitles, or I've created a subtitle file, I can upload that here as well. I've got thumbnails I can choose. Doesn't really matter which we go for, but I can choose different thumbnails from the presentation or upload my own like cover image for it if I wanted. But otherwise, I'm happy with the settings as they are. It's available to everyone. That's my main reason that I came onto here, to check the permissions. So apply. I'll come back to my video screen. You can see that visibility has changed to company and gone green. I've got that hashtag that's linked now, and also that timestamp would take me to the 10-second mark, so I can punctuate the video with navigation around depending on the timestamp. Okay. I think probably time for Q&A. It's been 23 minutes of me. Has anybody asked any questions in the chat, guys?
I think we've been able to answer the questions in the chat as they've come up. So if anybody wants to put their hand up and ask a different question.
Just quickly, Stu, you were going to, just before you switched your screens, you were going to say what the default permissions were on when you're in a meeting.
What's that?
You know, the permissions, the default settings when you go into a meeting.
Yeah, I can come back to, I think I mentioned it, but so if I come to one of my meetings, say I've changed these all to green now, haven't I?
Yeah.
So here's my meeting with John Evans last week. If I come in my list of meetings, I can go to the video details via this way as well. I've got a link to that pen icon, and you'll see that that's a one-to-one meeting. I own the thing. I set up the calendar event, so I've got that grayed out owner, right? So I own that video. But I had just me and John were in the meeting, so it's done a default of both he and I have access to this video. It's not available to everybody in the company, and it's not attached to any teams. If the meeting had been attached to a team, if you'd done a class session and invited that channel when you set up the meeting, then that would appear there as well. It would be available. The team name would appear there as default as well.
That's great, Stu. I think it was just that case of just showing them that it wouldn't, if it was in a meeting, having a meeting, and you recorded that meeting, it wouldn't go out to the whole company
No.
by default. It's private by default. That's all I
Yeah.
wanted to just make
Yeah.
sure. Yeah.
Okay.
Cheers.
Do I have
Nicola?
anything else?
Nicola?
Nicola again. Hi.
Yeah, I don't know if you're coming on to it, but at the beginning you showed a slide that had subtitles on it.
Okay, so
are you coming on to that, or can I ask a question about it?
well, I showed where to generate the
Right.
subtitles.
Are
So,
they
yeah,
automatic?
they're not automatic. So when you go on to when you upload a video, you can choose to auto-generate the subtitles, or I can go back into a meeting to generate them. When you're viewing the video,
No. Yeah, I meant do you have to type them in, or do they automatically come up?
no, there's that auto-generate that we looked at. So
Can you then edit those?
yes, I'm pretty sure you can. Yeah. So once it gives you the caption file, that's ones that are being generated at the moment. Let me see if we can get. It has one. I imagine one of the previous ones.
The one that you brought up, because the caption said 9:30, and I'm assuming that meant 9:30.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
that's why I'm asking if you can edit them, because it's obviously night.
Yeah.
So it's obviously what
So
it's
I don't know why
heard.
it's showing here, but there is when the transcript is showing here, there is a download transcript button here to be able to take in. It's a text file that you can open in Notepad, and it saves as a VTT. That's the file format that it needs to be. Yeah. So it's a text file, and that's just the extension of it is VTT.
So,
that's the only one that it's the only one that Microsoft accept in terms of a subtitles file, but that's the
cool. Thank you.
To do it. Okay.
Stu, there's a good question coming up from Dave at the bottom there. If you have a number of videos you want students to read before a lesson, what's the best way of getting them to them in one lot, and what if they're in different teams?
Okay, kind of takes me on to channels, I would say. So you've got, I'll come back to sharing my PowerPoint because I will have to go over this a little bit differently. So, oh, wrong. I'm still in session 3 here. I'm sharing you session 3 PowerPoint instead. Start presenting that. So I've skipped over a little bit the group and the channel terminology here. One thing to say is the use of the word channel in Stream is completely unrelated to the use of the word channel in Teams. They're not related to each other. It baffles me why they've used the same terminology in 2 of their products for different things. But this is the illustration that Microsoft provide about groups and channels. And I'll pop this one on so you can see that you can create, again, company-wide content. You could group that together and create channels under that. And similarly, for a private group, so a team, you could create channels underneath there to organize your videos. If I go to the next slide, I'll zoom in on that. So just to differentiate the 2, the group is where you're managing who can see the content underneath there, but then you might use channels to then differentiate the different topics. And a channel would be where you grouped, where you put the same kind of content together. So I've put together an example there for an example of a performing arts group. So that would be the name of the team in green there, the level 2 performing arts group A. And the students and teachers are brought through from Teams to give them access to any content in that group. So that manages the permissions. I would create channels under there to put certain content together. So all the live class recordings, all those meetings that have been recorded from Teams, I would add to a certain channel. And then in that example, they might have videos from live shows, or another channel might be demonstrations, how-to videos, etc. Or they might be divided by the different units. Again, you might have a channel for different topics or units, modules, etc. But it's a way of organizing the content. So you could put those videos into a channel, Dave, and then give them that access, the link to the channel to put that in. The other reason to use channels is that they can be added as a tab to within Teams. When we looked at adding websites to a team using that add additional tab button earlier on, the channel can be chosen there to put into there. My potential issue with what you're looking at doing there is putting it across different teams. Say when you've given access to a group, that would be a certain team, a group of students on Teams. The other kind of channel would be the company-wide, that I'd be giving everybody access potentially. I think I'm going to bring is Rob Owen in this one. I was on one before, wasn't he? We're talking about how you organised it in Arden, or Russ, you were either involved or know about that, don't you?
Yeah, what we had to do for performing arts at Shida Simon and Effie and HE, basically they had to create an overarching team where all their staff and all their students were members of, and then they would create a channel just for that particular team. So it's not going company wide, it's just going out to that particular overarching team, i.e. Arden Performing Arts. So that's how they got around that by the videos not going out across the whole company.
If I reshare from Stream now, and I'll show you setting up of a channel, and that might explain it further as well. I think for Arden, right, it was like a common room area, wasn't it? So the team still had a purpose. So it was a social area for all their students who were HE Performing Arts. Were able to all access that Teams and then put enrichment type things on there and more kind of a student union feel. And that meant that all the members of that area were all together in one group, and they were able to share content using those permissions. Clear as mud, I'm sure. All right. I'm going to quickly see if this might help. I don't know if it will. If I create, this function was not working, and it is again now. Excellent. So the other way that you could potentially get around this is create a group in Stream. It wasn't allowing me to do this the other day. So as we were saying, groups are created by teams, but you can create one within here as well. So you could set up a group, Dave, and give all your students access to this group, and then any channels underneath this, you would be able to share that across teams that any of those students were attached to. So there is a way of doing it. Very conscious that there's a lot of theoretical stuff going on there. So it's it can get quite confusing, but it is possible to structure in it a slightly different way. Create an extra group to manage those permissions. Ideally, though, you would use those groups that have come through from Teams. So if I go to my content and go to groups, you would see all the Teams areas that I've been attached to. So a few million. And I can then go into one that I have access to, and is that one on that one? And then within there, I can create channels that sit under those groups. I'm just going to come back to my groups. So let's go to my to search. So if we're going to my test class that I created earlier, I've got a group there. I can see my membership has been pulled through from Teams. So I've got Russ and Alistair are members within here. The default setting for Teams is that all members can contribute to this video area. I can go into my group and I can turn that off. So I can make it so only staff can put videos on here. But if you want students to be able to upload videos to this group as well, then you can turn that on or off. As it stands, we've got no videos in here and we've got no channels. What I'm going to do is create a channel to try and organize the content that I'm going to put on. We've got a lot of video content that's come from the Blended Learning Consortium. I'm just going to put, I've got a video that I want to upload that's from Media Makeup, and underneath there you see I've got channel access. So again, that's managing the permissions. It's test class 12. It's a group channel, or at this point I can still make it a company-wide channel if I want, but I'm going to make it a group channel so that permission to view videos on this channel is managed by that group. And then I click under the channels tab and I've got a channel now here. What I'm going to do is just click on the channel I want to upload a video to here. I've got one that's I've downloaded, just a MP4 file, and I'm going to upload that. And again, importantly, I'm going to go straight down to that permissions section and just see what that's set as default. Because I've added this video to a group and a group channel, we've got that unticked there in terms of allowing everyone in your company to view this video. So this is a private video that's going to a permission controlled channel. Not everybody will be able to view this, even with the link. And that is how we want the default to be with this. However, if I just duplicate this page and go, I'm just going to go to the general upload. So this isn't attached to any channel, any group or anything like that. I'm just putting this video file onto stream, a general upload, and the permissions as default. I'm the owner. Nobody else has got any rights to it apart from, oh no, everybody's got the ability to see it. That is the default setting. So we've had a few problems, especially within early adopters of using this site, performing arts in particular. There were students uploading videos directly to stream, but not controlling who can see it. So there was a lot of videos that went out onto the Discover tab of students' work, students videoing themselves, doing things like vocal warm-ups, that sort of stuff. And it's gone straight out there for anybody to be able to see. So you just need to be aware and make your students aware of that sort of thing. Student training, I should say, sits with libraries, same as their passwords and things like that. And they are working on induction training for students on these packages. But good for you to be aware of when your students are uploading things, what's going on there. I'll just close that upload and come back to my private one. So it did the uploading, and now it's processing. I can change while this is processing and uploading. I can change details about it, so I can add descriptions. I can add in those time codes, the hashtags and things like that if I want to. The default language it chooses is English, but I can change that. We've done the permissions, and then at the bottom under options, we've got comment section we can turn on and off, which I looked at earlier. There's also noise suppression, which is quite a new feature. With a lot of people working from home, meeting recordings, sometimes we're struggling to for people to hear the actual voice of the people involved, and there was a lot of ambient noise. If you turn that on, it does an automatic cut of the video and tries to cut off any of that ambient noise, that traffic, the dogs barking, etc., out the background, and give center stage to the voice. And we can at this point auto generate the captions file or upload our own one. We can see it's the VTT file Nick spoke about. So that's the how to auto generate, and then we can deselect it and create our own. At the top of here, I've got my processing is complete. At this point, I can publish this document. I'm not going to do that yet, but that's where I would press publish. I can drop, I think, as many videos as I want to onto here. I've definitely done 10 at a time, and it just gives them all a box where you can do the details for multiple videos in one go. And then they're in my draft section. I've got a progress bar here telling me everything's complete, but as it was uploading, I could see how that was getting on. I'm just going to go back to my content and videos, and we'll see. I've got this video uploading there. I don't know why it's not. There you go. It's this one. Oh, that was the one I stopped. We've got the draft version here of the same file. So this is the one. It's got the permissions are set as private. That was the company-wide one that I did. And this one's ready to publish. So I can, at this point, click on publish if I'm happy with all the settings. I can also, if I can't find it in my list, I can filter by draft and find which ones I need publishing, as I showed before, and then I could go to publish that video. Russ, could you show uploading from
yeah.
the thing? Do you want me to share the PowerPoint again?
Yes, please, Stu. Can you hear me, by the way? Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah, so this is basically a Stream app that you can download. It's available for on the Apple App Store and on the Google Play app. And basically, so you can just download it onto your phone. Obviously, students can do this as well. When you first upload it to your phone, you'll be asked for your Microsoft account. And obviously what you would do, you as a member of staff or student would put in your email, your college email address and your college password, and you'll just go straight into the app from there. This is the sort of the front screen that you get. You automatically get the discovery screen from there. Let me just take control of that. And then going on to the next screen, under my content, you have a watch list. So they're the videos that throughout the catalog of videos that we have on stream, they're the ones that you want to save and you want to watch later. You can actually download any of these videos onto your phone. So if you was on the train coming to work or whatever, you can actually watch those videos offline if you didn't have any, if you didn't have a network at the time. You've also got obviously my videos, so all the videos that you've created, they would also be there for you to access from the app. Most importantly is this plus sign that's circled there. You can upload videos that you've already taken from your phone by pressing the plus sign, and you can also create a new video. So when you press new video, you'd get a record screen like you would normally get on your phone. And you can use the front and back cameras on your phone. You could also sort of write on the video. You can put a little emojis on there to make it a little bit more interactive. Once you've stopped the video, you have a preview screen, and from that point you would upload from there. When you press upload, then you would have the normal details that you'd need to put onto your video. So obviously the name of the video that you want to call it, you can write a description, you can put all those hashtags and the time codes in as well, just as you did do on the desktop app. You choose the video, the language, so obviously you're going to pick English. The next screen is probably the most important screen to be aware of, and basically you can quickly share your videos to your stream account. by leaving this quick share button ticked. But the only thing problem with doing that is, as you notice there in the small print, it says everyone can see this video across the whole group. So basically you don't want to be doing that. You want to keep all your videos private. You don't want to be sending out videos from your phone automatically to the whole of the LTE group. So if on the I say on the next picture there, you can see that you need to untick that that quick share button. And then what you want to do is save the video as a draft on the bottom there. And with doing that, you're saving it as a draft, and then you're publishing it as Stuart did before with the other videos. You're publishing that video when you're happy with it, and obviously when you've got the right permission set up. So going to the next screen, basically then once your video is uploaded as a draft, then you could share it. You can edit it again. You could make available offline, add it to a watch list, or obviously delete it. In terms of sharing it then to what you can't do is share it to your team from this app. Unfortunately, you can't do that at the moment, and you can't share it with a particular person, for instance. You'd have a share link there, so you'd have to do that. Either you'd have to sign into office.com on your phone and do it that way and go through the share app on your phone, or you'd have to do that on a desktop machine. But it's a really great way of quickly, especially for maybe doing, if you're doing in-class assessments with your video with your students, a really quick way of uploading video to the Stream app. It's private as long as you untick the quick share button, and it's there already and waiting for you. So it's a great way to use Stream. Okay, Stu.
Excellent, thank you. What I just want to go back into briefly then was just finish off that side of that channel bit. So I'll come and just reshare my browser window. In fact, I will reshare with Teams as well. So if I go back into that channel that I created, I gave access to my test class 12 there. And what I want to do is I want the share link to that. So my list of channels, can see it's available just to test class 12 there. Click on the dots and I just want to share, and I get this link. I'm going to come into Teams and go into that test class. And the reason I want to do that is to show if I go into unit 1 here, for instance, I can go into the add a tab and stream, and then I can share that group of videos. If I'd added more than one, that channel by so I copied the address from Stream, pasted it in there, selected the channel from when it prompts me. I can call the tab whatever. So in this context, they might just want maybe how to. And I can save that. And what that does is brings all those videos in the channel into here. And I've deleted it from there, haven't I? I'm going to investigate why that's not come through. Sorry. I did the same thing, haven't I, Russ? I changed my permissions of the video. So there aren't any videos in there. If I go back
quickly add a
video
new one.
upload, yeah, I'll go up to my video upload. Oh, not published it, that was why. So when I publish that, it's then showing within that channel. I've got one video within there. I knew I'd lose a thread somewhere. Reload my tab.
Yeah.
And it pulls it through. So if you did create a channel, say for all your classes that you've recorded, added all those meeting recordings to that channel, they could all sit just in a tab within your team. So again, if you created a channel on Stream for each channel within Teams, so you could have for each unit, for instance, then you could embed the relevant ones in there. There's also, as I mentioned before, we do have content from the Blended Learning Consortium. So if, for instance, I drop in some So I've got some automotive videos here, which I've got any of you guys here today. This is a company-wide channel that I set up. I've added all the videos from the Blended Learning Consortium that we've got for this subject. I'm going to go to the share link, and because this is available to anyone in the company, it doesn't matter which team I embed this in, but I can similarly go to a tab, add, stream, copy in the address and select it and click on save, and that will add all those 9 videos in there. So that's how you see how it would actually sit with all your meeting recordings, all your lessons all in one place. They do open up within Teams, but I can go out into Stream itself as well, to that channel. So we've got a nice link up from there, but again, we just need to be aware of the permissions of where we're putting videos as to where they work. But if you're putting your classes meeting recordings into a tab, then all the permissions should be straightforward. It's when they're going across different teams, the same videos, you need to be a bit more aware of permissions. But again, we can work on that with you if things aren't working or you want to make sure they will work. As you're setting it up, then we can work on you on a case-by-case basis of getting that right for you. And then once you've got the channels set up and everything, as long as you're then adding the new videos to the setup channels, it'll all cascade through to where it should be and not be too complicated. That, I think, is oh no, we've got a couple more things to go through. I'll quickly do those, and then we'll have a lightning round of questions again if you want. One of the really nice additions to Stream has been the ability to add questions within. So if you've used anything like Edpuzzle in the past, or Zaption, where you can add questions throughout a video. If I go into this airbrush assembly video again, you'll see to the right of the video is still working on creating that auto transcript. But if I go into the interactivity bit here, I can add a form into the video. I'm going to just click on to go to my forms page. So this is where anything that I've done within forms, whether that's within Teams, these quizzes that I've done, my obsession with whether people like tea or coffee apparently is strong. And I can then go into one of these quizzes, click on the share button to get the link for that. And then when I go back into Stream, I just need to paste that into there. I can choose a name, so I'll call it question 1. And then I choose whereabouts on the timeline I want to do it. So wherever the pointer's at, it will insert it there, add to timeline, and then I've got question 1. If I go back into the video, then it comes up, question pops up. I can answer, submit. That's completely false, actually. Very much a coffee person. And then continue on with the video. So you can spread out questions across the video, put an overall check of learning at the end if you wanted to. And then if I go back into forms, you can see my number of responses has gone up to 40. It was 39 before, and all my information from any forms comes into this area. We have been asked a couple of times already this week, at least, about putting sessions on about forms. So we'll probably look at that in the drop-ins that we're going to do over the summer. But also when everyone's back in September, we'll put on some actual structured sessions about looking at forms and offer those out. Please use the feedback form that we send out today to request anything like that, or just get in touch with us directly. One last thing I want to cover very quickly. Under that Create tab at the top within Stream, we have Record Screen. If you've used Screencast-O-Matic in the past, it's very similar to that. There's a 15-minute limit to each screen recording. So that is the one limitation on there. You can use picture-in-picture as it's displaying there, or I can choose to turn that off. But I can use my webcam to insert it into the page, check my microphones using my headset, and press record. It shows me a preview of what I'm going to be recording. I can choose my entire screen with that picture-in-picture, or I can go to choose an individual side of that, or a tab from my internet browser. I'll go for the whole of my screen, me included, and as soon as I double click on that, I get a countdown. And then it's recording my screen, and I can go off and have a look around, etc. If I come back to the recording, I can pause and resume, gives me another 3 seconds. Excuse me. And then when I've finished, I just click on next. It gives me a preview of the video. I can watch it, record again, or I can go forward to uploading it to stream like any other video. Permissions button again, just want to untick that so it's not going straight out for everybody. And then I can choose the settings for it as well. I'm just going to chuck that into my drafts. Go to my videos and I'll see that it's been added into my list here. So a lot to cover in just under an hour. The first time I did this session was about 1 hour and 40 minutes. So we've missed some little bits out that you may want to come back to. Please get in touch, say with us, and we can go over in more detail in your specific situation with it. But from my point of view, I've covered everything that I think I should there. Has we got any other questions before we do wrap up? I know it's been a long day.
There's nothing been in the chat since 5 to 3. I think it's that Friday afternoon where people are afraid to ask a question in case the session overruns, and they get a lot of angry faces in the chat.
It's all West Indies with 5 down. You've gone
yes,
to
that's right.
watch
Got the cricket score there. couple have just appeared now. Would it be possible to have a session on Sway?
Yeah, not right now, Gemma, but yep.
Yeah.
And forms as well.
Yeah. So yeah, just we will put on those sessions if people are around over the summer. We will offer those out. We're doing those drop-in sessions, and please feel free to come into there and ask about other parts of this as well. It's not just about Teams. But yeah, please use that and just get in touch. We're in on and off over the summer. There's usually one of us in at least every day. I will send out
very
the
brave
links.
and put a hand up.
Oh, hello, Sarah.
Hi, yeah. It was just a quick one. So just wondering in terms of, so I've presented a PowerPoint which has got a video embedded before, and the students couldn't hear what I was playing. Do you know, is that something?
So were you in session 2 today?
Yeah,
Look to that. So yeah, when you go to share, you can't, if you want them to hear from the video, you can't use the obvious PowerPoint option. You have to share either your desktop or window, and share your PowerPoint from the actual program on your computer, or if you had the web browser version of PowerPoint, you could share that window. But yeah, if you use the integrated PowerPoint within Teams, sound doesn't work and animations don't work as well.
Oh right, okay. Yeah, thank you.
Okay, no problem. I think probably all had enough. I know there's a lot in that last session in particular, and it's quite a lot of terminology to get around. Please don't be scared to get in touch, and we can go through at whatever level you're at, and hopefully improve ourselves as well. Thank you very much for being around today. I will send out the email quite shortly with links to all these sessions, and the link to our drop-in session next week will be there as well.